Never too high, never too low was a lovely phrase, but it wasn't meant for you or me. It was meant for the players. We always get too high, and my God, we've got too low. So this one is the one for us. There's no middle. That's Watford.
I woke up this morning feeling very fine, you know.
Cohen Bramall, you are very good at free kicks, and please keep taking them.
I've always said, as you two know, 3 at the back is the way to play for this football club. And lo and behold, it worked. I don't know how spicy and how alcoholic the cocktail's going to be, but it's going to be mighty strong when we taste it at the end of it. Absolutely magnificent. Chef's kiss it was. It was beautiful.
Izzy Jones. Oh,
the whole of the away end. The whole of the away end rose as one.
Whether he's engineering a move in January, I couldn't care less. Performances like that will get us up the top of the league where we want to be.
You took something off the table, my friend. I think it's about time you put it back on it.
There you go. Promotion. Back on the table.
That performance yesterday was a performance of a team that wins promotion. What he has done in those 4 weeks is nothing short of incredible.
You know what's back? The fun.
We've got our Luton back. If you're listening to this on your way into work on Monday morning, you've got that smile on your face, haven't you? You've got that extra pep in your step. I know you have, because I've got it myself, and we haven't had it for an awful long time, so enjoy that. The Town laid down a statement performance and a statement result on Saturday when we went to the league leaders, Stockport County, and came away with a 3-0 victory. Alongside me to look back on a brilliant day in that away end is the Lutonian journalist James Cunliffe, and we've got Town fan Dan Barratt-Davis with us as well, gents. I'm not going to whisper this quietly, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. We've got our Luton back.
I'm happy about that.
For now. Long may it continue.
Indeed so, yeah, and we'll explain exactly why right after this intro. Hello everyone, welcome along to another episode of the Luton Town Supporters Trust podcast, the award-winning, longest-running Luton Town podcast, having scooped bronze in the Best Football League podcast category in the Football Content Awards. This season, the show is in association with Solid, providing opportunities, provisions and assistance so our academy can fulfil their potential. As I mentioned prior to the intro, we are looking back at Stockport County 0, Luton Town 3, quite comfortably the best performance and the best result of the season, and everything that goes around it and all of that. And I've got the Lutonian journalist James Cunliffe, Town fan Dan Barratt-Davis alongside me to do exactly that. Jimbo, I'll come to you first because you was with me for the preview. It's been a long while in the making, but I woke up this morning feeling very fine, you know.
Yeah, you and a couple of thousand Luton fans, I'd imagine. I think everybody. What a result just brings a smile back to your face, doesn't it? And it's been a long while. In fact, it's been nearly a year to the day of that disastrous day at Middlesbrough, 5-1, and it hasn't got much better until sort of maybe a month ago, really. And now we're starting to see the fruits of this stuff that Jack Wilshere is implementing, and it does feel like that. It's not. I don't think it's flippant to say. Really, it does feel like the club's on its way back to how it used to be, and long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. It does. I mean, we'll go through all of the who deserves all of the credit and everything else sort of soon. But I mean, that was the opportunity. We said it in the preview. You wasn't with us, but Jimbo and I said it in the preview that it was an opportunity to put a real statement out under Jack Wilshere, and they didn't let anyone down in that regard.
No, they didn't, and it's a brave thing to go and say that as well. With given the start that Stockport have, they've been absolutely flying this year and surprised a few people, and good luck to them. But I think given the momentum from winning the last 3 matches, and it doesn't matter who you're playing because you can only play with what's in front of you. The fact that we've gone up there, turned them over and made them look silly is just fantastic, because a month ago, guarantee we'd have lost that, and we'd have lost probably the last 3 before that as well. So it's testament to what Jack and the team are doing.
It really is. I mean, you made the point in the preview, Jimbo, that our record against teams above us in the table left plenty to be desired, didn't it? And, we've put that to bed.
put a lot of things to bed, really. Even just from the week before, go 3-0 up, see it out, bit of resilience, getting a bit of luck. Well, not necessarily luck, great skill from Josh to guess the way of the penalty, but that going their way, being clinical in both boxes. The list goes on, doesn't it? It's just one of those days where I don't think you can possibly get a better day than that. From where we've been and to now, that just felt like a real moment, didn't it? And I think you can lump it in now, and time may tell. But for the minute, we're only going to talk about this game, and I think you can lump it in with games like that Norwich one that kick-started Edwards' tenure, and little moments like, I know we're going to come and talk to it, but at the very end, and Ted and Mengi and stuff, like just redemption for players. I think you and I have got some humble pie and apologies to make. I have to say, Cohen Bramall, you are very good at free kicks, and please keep taking them. I didn't think that would be the case. So humble pie, tastes very nice. And Kev?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've got exactly the same on Ted and Mengi, like you said. All the vibes were that it looked like he didn't want to be here, but you know what? Absolutely, he wants to be here. So yeah, I'll have the second slice of humble pie, Jimbo, and long may we continue eating it, my friend. Long may we continue.
And also, actually, while I'm at it, if your team temper your excitement, I say no, absolutely not. On this game, no temperate excitement. Never too high, never too low was a lovely phrase, but it wasn't meant for you or me. It was meant for the players. We always get too high, and my God, we've got too low. So this one is the one for us. So be happy about it. We're talking about this game. Don't worry about the rest of the season. This one was brilliant.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch a podcast where the people on it are too high, maybe this is the time to turn it off, because this one is going to be pretty positive, as all of you that came up to me after the game yesterday fully aware. Let's cover the game then, Dan. And well, the first thing to note was the team sheets. Let's do Stockport's team first, because there was a massive hole in the Stockport team. I know they've got injuries. Listen, lads, find me a violin and I'll play it, because we've had 12 months of them sodding things. I'm really not worried. Really not worried about your injuries. But it was a right touch that Ollie Norwood, the best player in the Championship, in League One, could still be one of the best players in the Championship, was missing for reasons that we'll sort of explain in more detail later. But that was a right touch. But it was the Town team that was most interesting. I've always said, as you two know, 3 at the back is the way to play for this football club. And and lo and behold, it worked.
But it did on this one, and that's another thing to add to the melting pot of things that have gone absolutely right, is that, isn't it? Because even you were at the beginning of the game going, please don't go to a back 3. But if he can get that working, then he's performing miracles, because 2 managers before him haven't managed to get it working. So well done on that front.
It's brilliant. No, it's good. I mean, what I like as well is we can start with a back 4 and then change to a back 3 if we needed, or go vice versa. And it's good that we've got the players back now that we haven't got 400 of them out injured, which has been the case since January in the Premier League, which is nearly 2 years now. Because we've just, and this sort of aimed at pacifying the Stockport fans a little bit for their injury problems. We've had 2.5 years of it, 2 years of it or so, of real bad injury problems, and having to chuck a team out there, and at times it has shown. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good setup. It was good to see Jake Richards get a start and mark that with his first goal as well. And obviously Izzy Jones starting again. Mengi, Naismith and Anderson as back 3, they're developing a good understanding as well. And Keeley's pulled off a brilliant save in the first half, so we're starting to see more confidence in the team, and that's the big thing in football. It's 80% confidence, I always say, because without the confidence, the ability doesn't matter, because you're not going to show it, and I think that's been the Town's problem for quite some time beforehand. So, but yeah, no, it's a strong lineup. Jack's showing his ability with changing using different systems, but getting it right as well, because anyone could pick 4-4-2 and go, right, you do this, you do that, but it's how you do it, and everyone knowing the jobs and what they're supposed to be doing, and it's starting to look like the players know what they're doing. So it's always been there, It's just belief in themselves, which we knew from the trophy game against Cambridge when Shazy came out and said we're at an all-time low. No one's got any confidence, and
That's the remarkable thing, isn't it? The
Yeah.
actual turnaround, because you
Yeah.
mentioned in your instant reaction, Kev, that a month ago you were saying we want our Luton back after the Stevenage game, and it didn't look like any of those things you were mentioning were there, and people, I and you, I think both thought the squad on paper was good enough and not
Yeah.
performing, and you could be well within your rights for going, maybe I got that wrong. But what's happened now is you're thinking, well, finally they're playing like we know like they thought they could, and potentially that's not even the ceiling that they can get to. I don't think it is, because they're just clicking and just gelling into something already. So there's so much to be positive about.
Yeah, we're only scratching the surface, aren't we? I mean, he's almost like he's just got the ingredients ready and he's just starting to mix the cocktail. And I don't know how spicy and how alcoholic the cocktail's going to be, but it's going to be mighty strong when we taste it at the end of it. That's for sure. Just to,
I'd imagine all those limbs that I saw in the away
they'd
end.
been on a few
Probably
cocktails.
one of you.
They'd been on a few cocktails, that is for sure. Obviously the game wasn't on TV, so for those of you that wasn't at the game, back three, just the one change in the side. Back three, Naismith the left centre back, Mads Anderson came into the side in the centre. Ted Amengi right centre back, Cohen Bramall left wing back, Izzy Jones right wing back, Liam Walsh, George Saville were in front of the defence, Lamine Fanny in front of them, Jake Richards alongside him, and Nicky Wells through the middle. And took us probably 15 or 20 minutes, Jimbo, to get the ball down and start playing our football. But you're not going to go to the league leaders, who are league leaders on merit, just because we made them look a bit ordinary. They're not an ordinary side. They're a good side. You finish above Stockport this season, you're playing championship football next season. Of that, I've absolutely no doubt. So it took us 15 or 20 minutes to get the ball down. And yeah, we had to ride a storm. But do you know what? What I love about this team right now is it can suffer and it can come out the other side. And it suffered last Friday. And it came out of the other side. We mentioned it. We're going to learn an awful lot more from having suffered and coming out of the other side. And you put it to Jack, didn't you, last Friday at the pre-match press conference, and he kind of confirmed what we were thinking. Now, when we're suffering, you're not suddenly thinking that the wall's going to cave in. Now you're kind of like, okay, let's see what you've got. We'll take it, and get on a level kill. Look, there were blocks. Right? How many times have we sat in front of these cameras pleading for people to throw themselves in front of a ball? Lamine Fanny, first block for a goal-bound shot that was going in, went out for a corner. From the resultant corner, they've missed a free header. Couldn't see who it was. The sun was shining right in our faces, but I think it was Pye. If it wasn't, it was Connolly, 15 or 16. Hard to tell the difference from that distance. But he should have scored, but he didn't. He put it over the crossbar. How many times should Mark McGuinness have scored for Luton last season with a free header from a set piece and put it over the crossbar? Plenty of times. So, what goes around comes around, and things like that. Did we get lucky when Keeley saved the shot that fell at Wootton's feet a yard out and he hit the post? Yeah, absolutely we did. Did we get lucky last week when they hit the crossbar? Yeah, we did. Where's the luck been for the last 12 months? Disappeared. It's coming back. That's all positive things. But once we finally got the ball down and started playing, Jimbo, there was only one team in that football game for the rest of the half, and the Town were absolutely magnificent. Chef's kiss it was. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. But this is where the team temper your expectation people are coming in. They've all piled in on that first 20, 30 minutes going, they had loads of chances. Yeah, but they're the league lead. They're the best team in this division. Statistically, they're at the top of the league, and they're very good. And like you say, I think if it wasn't for Wrexham and Birmingham in the last and Keane in the penalties,
saving penalties on that ground, didn't he, the boy?
If it wasn't for those three things, Stockport already would be a championship team. They are very good, and they're going to have chances, and you've got to ride them. The word of the week seems to be suffer, because
and it's a great word, isn't it? Because that's what we've all done for 18 months. We've all suffered.
It's just recognising it, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about the broader picture of us suffering as having to watch what we've watched for the last 15 months, 18 months. But he's talking about that, but the subtext is more about his team having to go through hard times, and you are going to have to go through hard times. That's Luton. I mean, if you're new to the party, Luton is hard times. That's why the highs and the lows I mentioned earlier, that's all we are. We're highs and we're lows. There's no middle. That's Watford. That's in the middle of nothing. That's Watford. So we have to deal with that. And when you come up against a good team, you're going to have to ride a bit of luck. And we did. And then you go on and prove what you are about in the next hour. And, from there's so much to be positive for there. I thought Jake Richards was always going to be a decent prospect. He's played plenty of games in this division.
Mhm.
He's now been given a new sort of position from where I thought he'd be better. He's great. Izzy Jones. Oh, he's going to rip this league a new one. And I hope he stays. But Mengi's turned up to the party. Lamine's playing fantastically well. Even Nucky Wells is getting into positions. Should have scored that one that he had a chance of. But, in the end, luckily it doesn't matter.
He's getting the chances, though, which is the
It's-
difference.
That is the thing. So all those things, if you want to look at the negatives, you can find them. But there's no point in just dwelling on the 20 minutes where they were quite good. They're at home, and I expect them to be good at home, straight off the bat and straight out the blocks. Of course they're going to be.
Yeah.
But you ride it, and then, like you say, that's got to be the best, most complete, not complete, the best, most important victory of the season, certainly of Jack Wilshere's tenure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
the one thing that he's installed in this team, Dan, apart from confidence, is an urgency.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, when a ball goes out of play, there's an urgency to go and get the thing and get it back in play, because he knows that he's got players on the front foot that he can take advantage of. And the first goal very much came from that.
Mm.
They put the ball out for a throw in. We didn't worry about the ball that they put out for a throw in. We went and picked one of the other ones up, and he was back in play before the first one had landed. Ball makes its way to Cohen Bramwell's feet. We've seen a lot this season under Matt that cross doesn't necessarily end up in the mixer. Quite often
No.
it can end up in the middle of the stand. But Bramwell's cross, brilliant. Jake Richards, I mean, can someone show me his passport, please? Because he is not an 18-year-old kid, let me tell you. He has got to be older than that. He is so bloody good, it's untrue. Gets across his man, puts it in, first Luton goal, and, well, that was the first set of limbs in the away end, because that was right in front of the Luton fans, and that stand might have a weird roof, but it doesn't half make a racket because of that roof.
Yeah, definitely. And, you're talking there about urgency, and when the ball goes out, are we ready to go again and get at them before they've reset, because they've gone, it's their throw in, or pick up a man, and then before you know it, he's gone already. What I liked about that as well, as you mentioned with the crossing, is finding a player, whereas before, like you said, it wasn't like we're getting crosses going. And under Matt, we were creating a lot of chances, but they were going wayward. They were going too high, too far wide, going in the stands. I think one hit you, didn't it, in the Kenny end one time? Near enough.
I mean, to be fair, they probably aimed for me in the Kenny end, but...
Probably, given your track record on this podcast, no surprise there. But it was good to see players getting in the right positions, anticipating where the ball's going, and that's something we've really missed over the last few months, certainly. And that's the second time we've scored a goal like that in a month, because Fanny got one at Northampton, didn't he? He gets in front of his man and prods it home. And it doesn't matter about the finish; it wasn't a clean finish. It was just you just got to get something on it and make sure it goes in, and it did. And
That's just confidence and desire.
Exactly. And I was talking about confidence earlier, and you've got confidence, then gives you a bit of desire, a bit more desire, and then your ability comes out in it. And those three are key ingredients in my book, and we've got that in abundance at the moment. And that helped us on to get the second goal pretty quick afterwards, and then settle the game down a bit in the second half, and then go get the third one. And it's lights out for Stockport. And, as long as we keep approaching games like that and don't concede first, and obviously try not to concede at any point, but just keep doing that. We'll be all right. We'll do well. And I'm not going to say any more, because I'll preempt something that I don't like doing it. So
You will preempt something.
I'm not preempting anything. Kev.
Something that might reappear later in this podcast.
No, I'll come back in May and tell you.
One thing, another noticeable change, Jimbo, from Matt's time is Nicky Wells' first touch. Towards the end of Matt's tenure, that first touch was bouncing off of him. He wasn't really getting into positions where he had lots of space. He was being hassled by defenders, hence why the ball was coming off of him. The second goal yesterday, there's a lovely pass from Richards into him. He holds the defender off this time, and the defender actually pulls him out of the way, but the ball goes to Izzy Jones, doesn't it? And Izzy Jones runs onto it, and the defender's still on the floor and brings him down. He brings him down in an absolute perfect position for, well, we all knew what was coming. And it was a perfect position because as you sat in the Luton away end at sort of 10 o'clock on the clock, the sun was absolutely blazing through the corner of the stand and the goalkeeper was staring right at it. Now, for the life of me, I've no idea why he hasn't got a cap on or something, but he hasn't. And all Bramwell has to do is clear that wall and it's in because the goalkeeper can't possibly see it because everyone's shielding their eyes with their hands and things. But there's a strong rumour doing the rounds that Roberto Carlos has got Cohen Bramwell pictures on his wall, and you can kind of see why, because that's 2 in the space of 2 months, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm going to have another little round of humble pie because I said he's going to never score another free kick after that one banger he scored against Barnet. But that was a hell of a free kick. I mean, the wall didn't jump, so if all walls can no longer jump anymore, that'd be fantastic. But
Well, it
you've got to
couldn't
score.
because they didn't have the old excluder geezer. He weren't nowhere to be seen. Normally they have the
Oh, the draft
fella,
excluder.
Then
No, I
normally
don't.
they have him laying behind the wall, but
Yeah.
it was nowhere to be seen. So you knew you knew the wall wasn't jumping. I don't know. I'm assuming he knew that the wall wasn't jumping. And he's just picked the top corner out. And if you're right behind that, I mean, there is an absolute pile on as that ball hits. And there is, I don't know where the bodies came from and where they ended up, but they were nowhere near where they started. I know that much.
It's beautiful to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. If you're not in that end when it happens, you're like, that's what you're missing out on. But I'm happy to watch it all day long and see people see the joy on people's faces is something that has not been there for quite some time, and to have that back. Aside from anything else, why would you not want to be happy? I mean, there are some people who look to not be happy about, and they pick holes, but I'm giving you. You can have permission, not from me, from footballing gods. You can be happy about this because it is worth being happy about.
Unbelievable strike, put the Town 2-0 up. I wouldn't say the game was dead and buried at that point,
No.
particularly in light of the fact of what went before last Friday, but we didn't sit on a 2-0. We should have made it 3-0 before the end of the first half, Dan. Another absolutely lovely move. Jake Richards times a pass to Nicky Wells brilliantly. Wells' run is absolutely superb. He's 10 yards in front of the defender in no time, and he's bearing down on goal.
Before you get to Richards, can I just say about Naki Wells? There's a reason he's getting picked as the lead striker at the moment. It's because his runs are fantastic, and you mentioned he's getting into the position to score the goals.
Yeah.
The way he's pulling defenders all over the place to create that space is what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season, where if teams did try and defend a bit lower, then the forwards be able to create that space for the midfielders to do some magic. It's working in a different way now, but his runs are very intelligent, and I think that I think it's getting overlooked a little bit.
Oh, it is, yeah, absolutely.
Well, it is. They get judged on goals, don't they?
Yeah, I mean the run was just brilliant. He's away and gone, and he does nothing wrong with the finish. The goalkeeper just pulls off an absolutely remarkable save, and he's entitled to do that, isn't he? And fair play to him.
Yeah.
Had that have gone in, then it would have been the cherry on top of the cake in the first half. But do you know what? Part of me thought, well, at least he hasn't scored and made it 3-0 for the second week in a row, because we all know how it ended last week when we went 3-0 up. And of course, that wasn't in his mind, but yeah, he is playing some really good football now. And whether that's because Yates is scoring or how Al Hamadi's back, or whether it's just because Wilshere's getting him in better positions, whatever it is, who cares? He's playing really good football.
I have to hold my hands up. I thought when they signed him, I thought, I'm not sure that getting a 35-year-old is going to be a good idea. And then his form wasn't great. And then from the Mansfield game kind of onwards for a couple of, for a game actually, because he was very good actually, soon after. So I have to hold my hands up and say I got that wrong, because he is very good. He's turned into a very useful player, a team player. If he can just get like the shot that he had, if you can get that in and start scoring some more goals, it's going to be happy days. But I think that that's another remarkable thing, isn't it? To have that. Well, we thought that the confidence sort of sapped out of him in Mansfield, but Wilshere had different ideas. He said he was very good and stuff like that. So, what do we know? But I'm just glad that it's happening.
Yeah, that's it. It would have been so easy. I mean, I think I said it after in the following preview, the Northampton game, that I probably would have took him out the firing line and let someone else take the slack after that Mansfield game. But that's not how Wilshere does his business. Same with Ted Menke. He could easily have took him out after last Friday, but he didn't. Go again, prove that you're the player that I think you are, and both have done that in recent times. Only 2-0 at half-time. Could have been 3, could have been 4. We had other chances mixed in, and amongst that, there was a cross that went just behind 2 people that were attacking late on in that half as well. But you knew Stockport were going to come out at us in the second half. They're not top of the table for a reason. I reiterate that. They're top of the table because they're a good side. They weren't going to lay down on home soil, and we were going to have to weather another storm. And that storm did come, not necessarily immediately. I thought the Town were all right for 5 or 10 minutes in the second half without really penetrating too much, but you don't need to at 2-0 up, that's fine. And then the game changed. Diamond, who'd been absolutely in Bramall's pocket for the entire game so far, he loses him at some point. He goes on a little darting run, and Izzy Jones has been a bit naive, I suppose, Dan, really. He's kind of gone with a bit of extra force into a shoulder barge and got it slightly wrong. Over goes Diamond, penalties given.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we've got to suffer again.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the penalty. Of course, I'd forgotten that Josh Kearley saved penalties on that ground last season to send Leyton Orient to Wembley, but thankfully he hadn't, and came up with the goods again.
Yeah, and Keeley's another one. I think I've probably been a bit critical of him myself in terms of, is he a bit too young to do this and like to play for a club like us that are looking at the higher end? All right, he narrowly missed out with Orient last year and played very well by all accounts, but I just wondered whether perhaps we ought to take him out the firing line a little bit with the team not playing so well. It's only a matter of time before the people start having a go at him properly, and you think, well, perhaps you need to take him out a little bit. But again, it's another example of Wilshere sticking by his man. And we've been here before, 3-0 up, the other team gets a penalty and they pull it back, or 2-0 up or whatever. We're cruising, give away a penalty. That's happened 2 games in a row now. And Forest Green got back in the game with, I think it was the second penalty, wasn't it?
Second goal
was a penalty, yeah. But it doesn't matter, first goal, second goal. That was an opportunity for Stockport to get back in the game. And you think if not for Keeley, Stockport might have got another one, and we're looking at a different result. So it's crucial, and I think we were talking about it before, watching it back on the replay. He sort of, Keeley knows where he's going. I don't know how he knows, but he knows where he's going, and that's brilliant goalkeeping, and whatever research he's done has paid off. So that's good as well. He'd probably have a little word with Ted about giving away penalties every week, but if we're going to be winning games 2-3-0, he can give them away all day long if Josh is going to save them. So it's all rosy at the moment.
I mean, for a team that's supposedly failing, he's got a pretty good clean sheet record at the moment. Josh
most in the league,
yeah,
now, isn't he?
7 most in the league. So
doing,
I mean, that's another one that you can add into this whole mix of all things that have gone right. Because, yeah, I mean, if he was suffering any confidence, then he's not going to be suffering any confidence now. And 7 clean sheets in this team that we thought was stumbling for a while, and it was, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know Josh Kearley too well. Hopefully, yeah, that can change over the course of the season. But he doesn't strike me as a character who struggles with confidence. Strikes me as a character who thrives on confidence, because he's always off his line at a shot. There's a couple of times yesterday that he came off his line and intercepted balls that were potentially going to strikers and things like that. And I mean, the penalty save, yeah, I mean, my mate Paul, who I go to games with, he clocked this straight away, that from the moment Nathan Lowe, we might have had a right touch there, avoiding him as well, let me tell you. But from the moment he put the ball down on the spot, he never stopped looking at the corner he was going to put that ball into. And lo and behold, Keeley's there waiting for him by the time he puts the ball into it. And he doesn't sell himself for the dummy, which should be taken out of penalties. It's an absolute... The goalkeeper's got no chance, really, if he sells himself when the dummy happens. He doesn't, though. He stands up, and Lowe still goes to the corner that he's looking at. And, I mean, Keeley's dived too early, if anything, hasn't he? Hence why the ball sprung back into play. A fair play to Cal Naismith, because Lowe's got a tap in without Cal Naismith, but he gets in there, he clears it. And I don't reckon we've celebrated a goal this season as much as we celebrated that penalty save, Jimbo, because it just felt like, I mean, you've said it already in this podcast, but that penalty moment was the Corley Woodrow moment of 3 years ago.
Oh, well, I think it's even more recent memory. I think it, in the same way that it crushed our spirit against Manfield, the penalty miss, Naki Wells's one, same for Stockport there. Because if they get that goal back, then everybody's biting the nails. But I think the reaction it might all, because it happened so quickly, might be subliminal in people's minds. But we've all been around football so much to know that that is a massive moment. and to keep it out, still be 2-0, and then go on to do what we did. I mean, can't predict that, of course, but I think that's what that is, because a month ago that goes on the other side, and we're worrying.
Well, where we've had luck, and I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, Norwood's the penalty taker, and as luck would have it, he's not there. I think I read somewhere on a Stockport site or something that he's out for 2 months. Now, if that is the case, then they might wobble from here on in for the next 2 months, because he is clearly a key figure in their side. I pointed out that his goals and assists record in the preview, and you can certainly see why. Yeah, for about 15, 20 minutes, it turned into the Josh Keeley show. Yeah, and he was absolutely magnificent. He'd made a save from Carl Wootton, who's the only time he got away from Ted and Mengi. But Mengi's narrowed the angle and he can only go in one place. Keeley saved the shot. He's got up, got his hands on the rebound. And then, lo and behold, his own team are trying to score against him. Nakeem Wells gets a head on a cross, much like Ted and Mengi did last week. For Forest Green's opening goal this time, though, the glancing header, Keeley pushes around the post, and he made another good save in amongst all that lot as well. And he was getting serenaded by Luton fans, their own version of status quo. And, he was loving it. He was lapping it up and everything else. He got a yellow card for time wasting, which was absolute bullshit, let me tell you, because they made 2 subs, right? And the second sub had barely set foot on the pitch, and the referee booked him. I'm like, how can he be time wasting? The sub has literally just walked onto the pitch. Why would he time waste at 2-0 up? He's having the time of his life in front of Luton fans anyway. We've got no need to worry. I'm like, referee, what are you doing? But, I mean, he's done us a turn by sending their guy off shortly after, hasn't he? But before that
He
happens,
deserved that.
the third goal comes along, and Jimbo, I mean, Jake Richards does a dummy on the touchline that, I mean, it needs to come with a parental guidance rating. It's explicit content. It is unbelievable, this dummy. And it just sends him down the line. I mean, it's just sent the defender who was not having a good day. He's got booked in the first half. He could have been sent off in the first half for another foul on Izzy Jones Dodgson, who apparently we were linked with earlier on in the season. Richards has got away from him. And then it's one of those. There's an absolute Alamo inside him. It's just pick your pass out, please. You ain't got no worries about Jake Richards picking the right pass. This kid's got the lot. He has got the absolute lot. He just rolls it into Izzy Jones. You don't have to break stride, Izzy. Just finish it. And he does. And it's pandemonium in the away end at this point. It's a brilliant counter-attacking goal. It's almost 2 years on from when Chong done it against Liverpool. It was equally as devastating.
Beautiful, beautiful move. I mean, he is looking like he's going to be some player, and he's been talked up by Wilshere in recent weeks, because he said when you come into a club, you sort of look at the players that do what you did as a player, and he's in that sort of mould. He said he sees lots of things that he did similar, and I mean, if he turns out to be half the player that Jack Wilshere did, then that's going to be great. Hopefully minus the injuries, but he looks like a pretty robust fella. So hopefully, great bit of skill, plays it perfectly. And Izzy, I heard somewhere that's Izzy Jones' first shot of the season. So it's good. That's pretty clinical, isn't it? But
Every shot could be like that, please.
Exactly. Absolutely wonderful. And then that sort of rounds it off, really. You're not coming back from missing a penalty and then conceding another goal. And I thought that was a great moment. And I think, if you're going to stick that in your end of season goal reel, it's going to be a worthy contender.
Oh, it is. Just for the dummy. The dummy is, it's out of this world.
Can I also go back when you said about Josh Keeley's got his own song now, Status Quo? I'm like, for the kids in the audience, I mean, Status Quo were dad rock for my generation. I love the fact that that's still a thing. So, I mean, carry on. What?
You absolutely love Players' songs, don't you? And Players' songs are back, let me tell you. Ted Mengi's taken over the Matt Pearson magic hat. Cohen Bramwell's got his own song as well. And it won't be long before Jake Richards and a couple of the others have theirs too. 3-0 up, the game's done. Everyone knows the game's done then. We're just cruising to victory at that point. They might have had a sniff or two, but nothing that caused too many alarms. And actually, we were very close to making it 4 right on full time when, it was nice of them. They played us through for once. And Ali Al-Hamadi, maybe 6 games' time, he'll roll that to Jerry Yates because he's not trying to prove himself, and Yates would have a tap in. We've been here in the trophy with Lasse Nordas and Jerry Yates, haven't we? Al Hamady goes for goal, and someone's done an Adoffin, haven't they, and got it off the line again, staring into the sun. Couldn't see who it was, didn't really care who it was. Unfortunately, it didn't go in. That would have been absolutely lovely if it had done. It would have rounded off the perfect away day. But it don't matter because 3-0 away to the league leaders, I'm taking that every single day of the week.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think it was Connolly. And I think there was a TV angle that made me think
Don't tell me it's not going in,
it was
Jimbo.
not going to go in
No,
anyway.
don't tell me that.
But he's gone for it, and that's what we want. He's gone for it because he needs to get a goal, needs to get off the mark. And how great is it to be able to bring on 2 strikers at the end as well to say, we're not going to let you off the hook, we're going to keep going for it. And that, again, is what we want because it ties into what Powell and Wilshere have all said about we want to be the fittest team. The coaches said it as well. We want to be the fittest team as well. Because if you are that, you can go to the end, you can go to 5, 6, 7 minutes into injury time and still be pushing for goals. And that's got to be the way because one time you're going to need goals to get you a result. Here, it would have just been to really rubber stamp the best performance of the season.
I don't know why you wouldn't set up to play for 90 minutes either. I mean, who's setting up to play for 80 apart from us for the last 9 months? 60.
I mean, you mentioned who we brought off the bench. Look who we didn't bring off the bench. Millie Alley stayed on the bench, you know.
That's surprising.
This is a guy who, when you're 3-0 up away from home and you bring him on, the defenders are like, no, come on, give me a break. We don't need none of that in our lives. And, you know, to be fair, he didn't come on, and that's absolutely fine. We'd used our 3 substitution blocks because Cohen Bramall went off. It looked like an injury, but he walked past us and got serenaded with his new song, and he looked absolutely fine. So I don't see him having any problems playing Saturday. Adoffin came on, got 20 minutes or whatever it was, and played left back. I reckon that guy, by the time the season's done, might have played every single position for Luton. If Kearley wants to go and play on pitch and he'll go in goal, he will complete every single position, Adoffin. I'm sure he will. He's already done 3 and he's only played about 4 games.
But this is the bonus of having players come back. I mean, he's the sort of utility player that can play in a number of ones, but that's not putting Millie Alley on the pitch. I mean, it wasn't needed, but when you've got players coming back, as we have done, and still some to come back, he's been talking up Jacob Brown, getting closer and closer as well. We're going to have this a lot more. And, you know, if you have had a couple of quiet games or something like that, then, you know, somebody else comes in, and that competition for places, I think it's been paid lip service to for quite a while. And you know, we probably haven't had the numbers as well, so that hasn't helped. But I think now you're going to see it in action.
Jordan Clark, Shaden Morris, 2 others that are still to come back. I mean, crikey, if you think defenders have got something to worry about now, wait till Shaden Morris is back. Because if he can't thrive in a Wilshere system, no one's thriving in it, are they? It had been a brilliant away day up until that point, but it just felt like it needed something to cap it. And you know what? It got something to cap it because Wharton's run through on goal, and I mean, he is clean through on goal. Go back 8 days, and the Forest Green guy's clean through on.
Don't forget the red card as well.
I thought I did the red card. Okay, let's do
We
the red.
touched on it a little bit.
Let's do the red card before then. That was obviously before the Al Hamady chance. Obviously, Gideon Kadir's come on for Jake Richards at this point. Standing ovation for Jake Richards, fully deserved. Absolutely. Because he was absolutely brilliant. In fact, if there wasn't 4 or 5 absolutely outstanding performances on the day, he would have been an obvious contender for man of the match. But this was one of those that you couldn't pick a man of the match. This was a team of the match, and we'll come on to that shortly. But yeah, Dodgson's finally got rid of Richards. And unfortunately for him, he's got Gideon Kadir, who's got a point to prove, and he's going past him at will, and he's just had enough, hasn't he, the boy? And he's just grabbed him on the shoulder and said, "Look, mate, we ain't going down this line together." And he's pulled him down, and he ain't even waited, has he? He's just picked himself up and gone. I don't think he's even seen the second yellow card and the red card come out to him. He's halfway down the tunnel by the time it's come out, and it's beautiful, isn't it? Because how many times this season have we been begging for wingers to stand their fullback up and look them in the eyes and say, "Come on then, are you going or ain't you?" And this guy, he was not going. He'd had enough. He'd well and truly had the will beaten out of him in that 80 minutes or whatever he was on the pitch. And
I think he must have had the will beaten out of him when Izzy Jones gave him about 500 metres.
That was brilliant. That was his yellow card, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And that was deserved as well, wasn't it?
That was just, you kind of knew then that, oh, crikey, we're on it here. And he got sent on his way. And then come the crowning glory of the game, Dan. I mean, I've already eaten humble pie about Ted and Mengi, and this is why, because Wotton's clean through on goal. As I say, flashback 8 days, the Forest Green guys clean through on goal, and Mengi makes an absolute hash of things, doesn't he? And he
Yeah.
makes the foul and things like that, and that's fine. And he came out and apologised, and Jack's absolutely right to say that he had no need to apologise. People will make mistakes; they'll always make mistakes. That's what makes them human. But what the byline of Luton Town of the last 12 months is learn from your mistakes. Well, Ted and Mengi learned from his mistake because he had an extra bit between his teeth to get back at Wootton. He challenged him 6 yards out. He won the ball. He put it out for a corner and he got up. And do you remember Cody Drame in the playoffs against Sunderland?
Yeah.
We had that again. And the whole of the away end rose as one and applauded Mengi. And you just kind of feel that that is the moment that Ted and Mengi arrived for the second time in a Luton shirt.
Yeah, definitely, and it's been a long time coming. I mean, he's one player that gets mentioned more often than others than where I sit, because of like he's had injury problems. There was rumours that he was off in the summer and it hasn't materialised, and there was rumours he was off the previous summer, which obviously didn't materialise either. And he has struggled with injuries. And then when you come back, people sort of think, oh well, because last year I remember he started the season and then he had to have the operation, didn't he? And I wonder whether he was sort of trying not to commit too much because he knew he needed an op and didn't have one. That should have been done months ago, and that's all done now. But I think now we're starting to see that he's got a clean slate under Wilshere. You know, he's somebody that obviously he wants to play for, wants to win games of football for. Whether he's engineering a move in January, I couldn't care less. As long as he's in a Luton shirt, you've got to back him, because performances like that will get us up the top of the league where we want to be. And long may it continue, because he's someone I've always rated quite highly. Remember when he first came in the Premier League, and I thought, well, if he can't get in the Man United team, how's he going to get in our team? Which everyone knows the Man United today, you can understand that point. But we're now starting to see the type of player he is, and he always has been. It just hasn't quite come for him, whether it's confidence or injuries, and like I talked about just then. But he's also getting a run in the side as well, and all them things combined, you know, I think we'll continue to see Mengi playing like he did Saturday for some time.
In that moment, Jimbo, he showed Luton fans what playing for Luton means to him, and in that exact same moment, Luton fans showed him the respect that they're going to have for him, because 3-0 going into injury time, if the geezer scores, the geezer scores. We still win the game of football. It's not the end of the world. But he weren't letting him score. And that clean sheet clearly meant something. And you could tell it meant something because the other defenders, Adoffin was right with him straight away. Cal Naismith was with him. The goalkeeper was with him, all congratulating him straight away. And obviously they knew that he made a mistake last week, and that's absolutely fine. But it's moments like that. We haven't had a together team, or we haven't seen a together team, for a long time. Can't question the togetherness of this team now. It's well and truly together.
100%. I think those moments, goals will always fill you with joy and you'll talk about them forever, but there are other moments in football that do equal things and are kind of just as important in terms of like stitching together a new narrative. I think that sort of moment is, we talk about, you've already talked about Cody Drame's tackle in the playoffs, Davis's against Stoke, which gets annual airing all the time. This fan base loves a good old-fashioned tackle, or just showing some passion, like the way Makoto did it last season, where he put a ball out for a corner, but then rallied the crowd up. And for that one, I think that might be the making or the remaking of Ted and Mengi, because he had those two mistakes in the Forest Green game. And I'm with you. Like, people will make mistakes, and that's fine. And he's also had a very off the pitch rough time in this week. We highlighted in the last one with the horrible abuse that he got, but he also did comment about the support and love that he's got from people. And I think there is a moment there of togetherness and unity between the fans and Mengi off the pitch, and then it happened on the pitch. And I don't want these reactions to have to come from something so horrible, and I hope that it never happens again. But there you can see something that has been, forged in something important for throughout that week, and it just manifested in that moment. And I'm really pleased for him because there was a lot of people that had a critical word for him, and to see any player come around and turn that on its head by your own actions is the absolute best thing that you can ever do. Because some people will have bad reactions to how you play. Hopefully, just football. Hopefully, just football and your performances. The only way that you can do that is to perform better, and that is a wonderful moment.
It's a great attitude from him as well to do that as well, because he could have quite easily thrown his dummy out of the pram and just gone, right, sod you lot, I'm just going to play half-assed till I get a move, or whatever, or till Wilshere sacks me for being but no, he's shown us the right attitude there, and I think he's had a bit of belief given to him by the manager as well and the coaching staff. Look, yeah, right, like you say, human beings make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Luton are in League One because we've made a lot of mistakes, and we're going to keep making mistakes, and that's part of football. But it's how you react, and Ted's reacted brilliantly.
Yeah, he has.
As a few others.
Yeah, he has, an absolutely fair play to him. The full-time whistle went shortly after that. He took his shirt off and gave it to someone in the crowd, and the Luton fans were serenading him with we know it as the Matty Pearson song, don't we? But the Magic Hat song, and he stood there and he was like clapping along to it and everything, and it just felt like there was the word that Jack uses is unity, isn't it? Just felt that there was a unity between defender and 1,100 or 1,200 fans or whatever it was behind that goal, and it was great to see, and long may that continue, because this team can go places, Jimbo. This team can go places. Now, if I take you back 3 weeks after the Mansfield game, you took something off the table, my friend. I think it's about time you put it back on it, I'm afraid.
I am going to put it back on. Here you go. There you go. Promotion. Back on the table.
And so it should be, because let's get it right. That performance yesterday was a performance of a team that wins promotion, right? It weathers a 20-minute storm against the best team at the moment in that division. It shows absolute class for the last 25 minutes in the half and pretty much wins the game in that 25 minutes. It weathers another storm straight after half-time, and then it goes again and shows its quality, and then it shows its togetherness, its unity, and the scenes at the end were just absolutely fantastic. Jack loves it. Chris Powell absolutely loves an away win, let me tell you.
Wow.
He is all over an away win.
Snake hips at the end there, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. And the players were coming up. James Shea, I said Josh Keeley doesn't suffer with confidence. James Shea had to push him forward at the end to get his sort of round of applause, and he did. He got his round of applause, and then Mengi got pushed forward from Cal Naismith, and it was great. And they were out there for about 10 minutes, and the Stockport players had long since gone, and the Stockport fans had long since gone, and it was just 1,100 Luton fans in that tent behind the goal, and 20 Luton players and however many staff, and it was just... It's the feeling that we had on the way up. It's a feeling of this train is picking up some speed and it stops at promotion.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I take Dan's point. If some people want to say it's too early, listen, it's just one game, and you have to do it over a period of time. But it's 4 games now, and if you want to say one of them's a non-league side and one of them's under 21 side, absolutely fine.
Can only play what's in front of you.
Can only play what's in front of you. Let's not worry about that. We're talking about one game. We're happy about this one game. You can be happy too. It's fine. I think that it's not too early. It's not too early to say that. You can see that performance, and all you have to do now is put in that effort, that heart, that fight, that passion, that desire. And they've got the quality of players now. We've seen it, that you can create the chances and now be clinical. There was loads of times in the last 18 months where we just weren't clinical, sometimes creating them and not taking them. And maybe that's changed now. And I think that let's not be coy about this. Jack Wilshere said he's got enough in this team to be promoted. And I was thinking, I'm not sure about it, but I'm telling you, I think that it can be.
Oh, we absolutely can. Yeah, there is no harder game in the league than that. Stockport away, they do not lose home games. They very, very rarely lose home games. At any level on their way up have they lost home games. Last season, they barely lost them. It was such a surprise that Leyton Orient beat them because of their home record, the second leg being at Edgeley Park. They don't lose. It's only Bradford who've been there and won this season, and we all know what Bradford were like at the start of the season because they've done the same to us. It is a hard place to go, and we've gone and won 3-0, and who cares who they're missing? We're missing players as well, and if we've got them at the right time, fantastic. Let's hope we get a few more teams at the right time, but we play like that, and if we can match that at home, then we are really, really in business because it's around about this time 5 or 6 years ago, 6 years ago when we were last in this division, that we really caught fire and we went on an unbeaten run of 20 odd games and ended up lifting the League One title. Someone said to me as we were coming out on yesterday that they checked the league table and we're roughly in the same position now as we were then. 6 points off top, got a game in hand, 3 points off the playoffs, got a manager who's suddenly found the whatever it is that was missing, got us going again. And what's best out of all of it, Jimbo, is the football is good to watch. And it's the same players that were at Stevenage. The only one that's back is Izzy Jones. The same players at Stevenage who could not pass the ball 5 yards to each other, who were absolutely dreadful and stunk the place out and could still be there now and wouldn't have had a Scooby's chance of scoring. In 4 weeks, what Jack Wilshere has done at this football club and his coaching staff, but Wilshere gets the credit because he's the man fronting it up. I mean, we all know it was my training session that done it, but that's neither in or there. But what he has done in those 4 weeks is nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's back? The fun.
The fun.
The
You wanted
fun
it.
is back.
We
I
can
wanted
enjoy
that.
going to football again.
You absolutely pleaded with it. You didn't even care about results.
Mm,
You just wanted to have fun.
yeah.
I had so much fun yesterday. I said in the instant reaction it was the most fun of an away end since the Premier League. People, you're absolutely right to correct me. Derby away was every bit as fun. It was a back to the walls job. It was a different kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was a back to the walls, thou shalt not pass, and we're going to give you everything to get you over the line kind of fun. This was we are taking the you know what, and we're having some right fun doing it fun.
You said it perfectly in the instant reaction. This is a statement win. And it is, because it will say to everybody else, and many pundits have said that we've got the best squad and should be doing better. And it was true. And now, if it clicks, you can show with evidence that it is getting better. There could be no stopping us. Who knows? But right now, off the back of this, are we gonna be happy about that result? Yes. Are we gonna have a great week? Yes. Did we have a great weekend? Yes. Are you gonna skip to Kenilworth Road to watch Rotherham on Saturday? Yes. Have I asked and answered my own questions far too many times? Maybe. But fun is back.
It is, and long may it continue. And yeah, I'm sure it will. Dan, I just wanted to pick out some people from this performance because
Yeah.
this was a great performance. I've already mentioned Jake Richards, but I just feel like we need to mention him again. The kid's left foot is an absolute wand. It's glorious. It's got everything that you need.
Yeah.
And playing out on that right wing, I don't know who designed it, but it is an absolute masterstroke because he just looks at home there.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, he looks like the type of utility player we were talking about with Odoffin earlier, who's playing every other position so far as well. It's good to have when you're 18, you're young enough to be able to retrain into different positions, obviously. So when you need someone out in a position where you're short, there you go. You've got someone in there. And obviously he came in highly rated from Exeter in the summer. Already played pretty much a full season already in League One, so he knows the league as well. And he excelled enough in it for us to take a chance on him. And it is a chance because you move a kid out of, I mean, could you move to a completely different area at 18 years old where, you know, nobody, you've got thousands of people judging you every Saturday and go out and pull performances out like that? You know, the kid's got to take some credit there, and rightly so. And again, you know, I always say long may it continue with things like that, and long may it continue. But there's still a lot of work to do with him. He isn't the complete package yet. He's still young. He's still a child, essentially. But if this is what we're getting at 18 years old, think what we've got when he's 22, 23, and he's got a few years under his belt. And he already looks like he has.
Yeah, unfortunately,
unreal.
Luton aren't going to see the complete package of Jake Richards because by
Possibly
the time
not.
he's anywhere near that, he's playing Premier League football. But we'll enjoy him whilst we've got him.
We're Luton.
Jimbo, you've already eaten humble pie, but you've only eaten humble pie about his free kick taking. Cohen Bramall, it's got James Justin vibes from the last time we were in this division. He's up and down that line like there's no tomorrow. He can defend. The guy he was up against, Diamond, I made a point of flagging him up in the preview. You wouldn't have known he was there until the penalty incident, and it wasn't Bramall. Bramall had gone on the attack, and they caught us short down that side. He had him in his pocket. It's a really good performance, and I think he must have just cramped up by the time that he went off. And why wouldn't he? He was up and down that line, got an assist, got a goal. That's the kind of left back that we've been missing since James Justin. Really, Alfie was a different type of left back, wasn't he? He was quality on the ball left back. This guy's got an engine. He's got a shot. He's got, for a free transfer, he's got everything we need.
I think so. I think he's shown flashes of it in his performances of getting up down, but he was playing in a side that wasn't gelling, wasn't clicking, the confidence wasn't there. But now that has changed since Jack's come in, and you only really have to look at the formation at the beginning of the game, and we're going, oh no, not three at the back again. But you can play that if you've got the bloody players to play it. And Izzy Jones can do it on the other side, and Cohen Bramall can do it on the left side. And when you've got partnerships working as well, because Izzy Jones came out and talked about the little partnership he's got building up with Richard as well. And on the other side, we've got the wide positions, got so much talent in there. And when you're talking Shaden Morris is not even available yet, and Millie Ali's not on the pitch, it's frightening, really. And that's what we had in that team 6 years ago. I mean, we had the best players all over the park because we recruited for that. And that was obvious from game, well, around about now, as you say, because the numbers have said to us this season has been sort of relatively close to that. But the feel of that season compared to this season was nowhere close until the last couple of weeks. And now all of a sudden, 4 games on the bounce, it is. Because the players are good enough. The performances are now improving. The instructions are better. The feel of the place is better. And I mean, I hope that we can. Imagine if we can go on another 27, 28 game unbeaten run. I'll
Steady on.
I don't think it takes that in this division. That division, that year, 6 years ago, we went on that run and still didn't win the title until a game before the end of the season.
Last game, wasn't it?
Of the season, because there were 4 teams in it, like doing really well as well. This division's not that. Stockport are the best team, and we just beat them 3-0 on their patch.
Away from home.
Away from home. Come on.
Yeah, brilliant.
You can't moan at any of that.
Another player to single out. I mean, you've kind of got a Ferrari in Richards, a Lamborghini in Bramall. You got a Rolls Royce in Izzy Jones, haven't you? He's something, isn't he?
He's like a cheat, isn't he? Cheat code.
Yeah. I mean, that clean pair of hills he showed to Dodgson in the first half was absolutely 100% computer game stuff, taking the mick. And I loved it. And that's what you want from. He should be. He was a quality player in the Championship. He should be absolutely tearing it apart. And considering that's only his first start as well, he's had that really frustrating injury of the stress fracture in his back, but it looks like that back's fine. It looks like his legs are pumping like nobody's business. And yeah, I mean, he showed flashes against Forest Green, not enough, but you saw it, what he could do when he gets a little space, and even when he doesn't have a little bit of space.
Creates it for himself, doesn't he?
I mean, he was involved in all the good stuff yesterday, and even the penalty, but he atoned for that with the goal. So, what a player!
What a player indeed! Yeah, best player in League One in that position. Well, whichever position you utilise him in, he's the best. And yeah, hopefully we keep him fit because he's fantastic. A couple of unsung heroes. Dan, I'll give you the first one. George Saville. The only downside or potential downside was that he faces a suspension, which we're led to believe now that the Rotherham game's going ahead. He's going to serve that suspension whilst on international duty. So that's a right touch.
Perfect.
But
you see why everything about that game worked out so bloody brilliantly.
That's another one.
That happening and him sitting out his suspension, but playing, going to the Northern Ireland team is absolutely quality bit of business.
But he is a quality bit of business, isn't he? Because he's the no frills guy that lets the frills guys do their thing, isn't he? He puts a
Yeah.
foot on the ball. He doesn't lose it too often. He can stop attacks from forming. He can launch our own attacks. You're not going to notice him in much the same way you didn't notice Marvelous Nakamba 2 years ago when he done all of this stuff. But he's mighty effective, and we had a couple of chances off set pieces yesterday. He takes some pretty good set pieces as well. Over the course of the season, as long as he can stay out of the referee's notebook more often than he's in it, we're going to make full use of him.
I think so. I think the only negatives you could pick on is the fact that he gets in the referee's book a bit too often. But yesterday is a masterstroke if what we've led to believe is true, that he'll serve a suspension whilst on international duty, and that's perfect. I don't mind that. Do it again. But yeah, no, he like you say, he does a lot of donkey work, which people don't necessarily look for when they're picking out who's a good player. You never see a holding midfielder stand out as someone who's one of the best players in the team, because it's not a fanciable sort of role, if you like, for supporters to look at. You want to see the step overs, flashes, nice crosses, goals, clean, like quality tackles on the goal line and stuff. And unfortunately, a holding midfielder doesn't do a lot of that, but they do everything else that allows those other things to click and make happen. So he's an important cog in the wheel in the side, and his experience, has got bags of it with Millwall in the Championship and a couple of other clubs as well. As well as international experience, and it's vital. And he'll help people like Richards push on, and he'll make better players out of them as well, because he'll do all the looking after in front of the defence that allows Richards to go and express himself, and accompany people like Clark as well. And that's brilliant for us, as long as he stays out of the referee's book a bit more. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. 2 others, Jimbo, and that's not to be a slight on the others that we've not named, but 2 for you. Mads Anderson. We've been told all season long that we had the Barnsley version of Mads Anderson, but we hadn't seen the Barnsley version of Mads Anderson. Well, he arrived yesterday, and fair play to him, because you've had to wait your turn under Jack. You played the first game against Mansfield. It didn't go particularly swimmingly. Jack decided he wants balance in the 2 centre halves. He's had to wait his turn. We've gone to 3 at the back. We brought him in, and Mads has put in a colossus of a performance there. Wootton wasn't really a factor in the game at all, apart from that chance that Keeley pushed out to him in the first half. And Liam Walsh, you don't necessarily notice him, but the passes that he does and the shielding of the defence that he does to allow the Fannies, the Richards and the Wells to go and do their thing at the other end of the pitch, you can see why this team's cooking on gas all of a sudden.
Yeah, I noticed Walsh because he's quality on the ball. He obviously had a rough beginning to his Luton life, but I think the more you can get him on the ball in a team that's going forward and looking positive, and there's runners, like I said, of Naki Wells opening up spaces everywhere, he'll thrive off that all day long. And yeah, I mean, what midfield we're going to have when everyone's back? We're talking about just beating the league leaders. They haven't even got our best player of the season so far. Jordan Clark was not even fit to play. So it's
crazy.
It's absolutely bonkers stuff how we've got here suddenly, from a month ago. It's bonkers. And I'm not going to second guess it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to just absolutely drink it in. You should too. It's just brilliant stuff.
It's what you want as a manager as well. All these players to choose from. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure he does. He's going to
do you want to pick the team for Saturday? Because I'm getting to that point now where I used to be under Nathan Jones's sides when we were the second time round when he came back, and we were like pushing for playoffs, and then before he ballsed off again. But I didn't care what Luton side he put out, because it meant that everybody was doing a job, and I trusted every single player in that squad to do a job. Not there yet with this one yet, because of everything that's happened in the past few months. But given on the last 4 games, I'm getting back to that sort of mindset again, and I'm pretty sure by the end of the season I'll get to that again, and I hope so, because I'll have nothing more than looking at the team sheet and go, yeah, happy with that, go for it.
He's going to need shares in Nurofen, isn't he, with all the headaches he's got selection-wise. Other painkillers are available. But he isn't he? He's got 2 for every position. He's got 2 formations that he can seemingly slip in and out of, I presume based on the opposition. I don't think we went 3 at the back yesterday for any other reason than they play 3 up front and we wanted to counter it. directly, and it worked perfectly. And these are the things, we tried all these formations under Matt. They never worked. We had no fluency going forward. We still conceded as many goals by the end of his tenure as what we did at the start of his tenure. And I can't stress it enough. What they're all doing in these 4 weeks is it is unreal. I always thought, having spent that 10 minutes with him at the Content Creator Day, that he was going to deliver a Luton side that we could be proud of, a Luton side that he would take us places in time. But this early in November, I didn't see it. I thought we needed January at the very earliest to sort this mess out. Oh no, not at all. January now is kind of sticking your hundreds and thousands on top of your cake that you've already iced and popped the cherry on, isn't it?
Yeah, well, even Chris Powell was pragmatic in the interview I did with him. He's saying that it could take time. We hope it doesn't. It could take time. So it could still go either way. But, right now, here and now, off the back of the last couple of weeks and that performance, it's only going one way, and that's very quickly to where we want it to be. Like I say, I don't think that we're even anywhere close to where this team could be. And if you look at it on paper and compare this to 6 years ago, and everybody will say, no, they were the best team. We won the league. It was brilliant, and it was. But I think the options we've got now are far superior if they all work. When all the players come back, the way you can change it, the amount of attacking impetus players you've got, and it might not be that we need a James Collins to score all the goals to get us somewhere, because everybody else will chip in here and there, and it's a very exciting prospect.
It is. It is, yeah. I've been walking around all day with a smile on my face, humming that song again that's back, woke up this morning feeling fine, it's back. Dump Nathan from it and put Wilshere in, and we're away and gone again. And it's just, that song carried us from League Two to the Championship, right? You just loved singing it, didn't you? You walked around your house after a game of football that you've won on the Saturday, all day long on a Sunday, you're humming it. You can't get the tune out of your head. Back in my head, Jimbo, and I didn't think it was ever going to be back in there, and all these other songs. And when you're there and you're taking it all in, and you're hearing Luton fans singing Luton are back, and we've got our Luton back, and things like that, and you just allow yourself to go back 4 weeks. And I don't want to keep going back, and I'm not going to keep going back, but from where we were then, when Luton fans were singing we want our Luton back, it's just unbelievable. Just seriously, guys, enjoy the ride, because I've just got this feeling that he's going to take us on a right old ride now.
I think so, because part of it is feel, isn't it? And if everybody's on board on the same page as it seems to be, that you can just go into any game, any contest, going, well, we're going to roll these over with confidence, not arrogance, confidence that kind of. Maybe we're not there yet, but it's going towards that direction. And so many things have clicked into gear just from that game that weren't happening before, keeping teams out, being clinical, all those things that we've already talked about in this podcast. There's one other thing that I wanted to highlight, which Jack Wilshere told me on the Friday, and it wasn't necessarily headline worthy, but I think it's a quote that he gave me that I think is very important. He said to me that experience is better than explanation. I can tell you certain things, but if you go through it, and you're a better player for it, in my opinion. And I think he's had so much experience in just the first month of his, managerial career. He's lost the first one, but he's gone into a cup game, gone 3-0, faced real adversity, come through it. That didn't happen for Bloomfield. He's gone to the league leaders and absolutely blown them off the park, and given us all this hope. And there's all of that. But, he was talking about, I asked him about going to all the teams that were currently above Luton in the table and losing to them so far. Bar AFC Wimbledon, there was one other team we hadn't faced as well. But all the others we'd lost, and whether that experience could hold anything for the players now that they seem to have turned the corner. At that point, 3 games they'd won. And it seems to have done. You've got that experience of knowing what it feels like to play those teams, thinking you should give them a better game and maybe even beat them, and not doing it. and then putting it all into action off the back of the 3 games that Jack has had with them, and then turning it around like that so emphatically is just, I didn't think that they could possibly be doing it, which is why I went for a draw. I thought a draw would be an absolutely brilliant result. To have a 3-0 thumping is out of this world.
A draw would have been a brilliant result, yeah, for sure. It's a weird league, this, isn't it? Because something stupid like 7 of the top 8 going into yesterday lost, and that's happy days when you're a team that's just on the outside of them top 8 and you win, and that's fun. I mean, we thought the championship was bonkers. I mean, this division's championship bonkers on steroids. I think it's just unbelievable. Some of the results that you see. I mean, who foresaw Burton going to? We've played Burton, we've played Bradford. If I'd said to you, Burton, we're going to go to Bradford and win, based on what we saw of the two sides, you'd have been like, doctor's appointments at 9:30 tomorrow morning or whatever. It's crazy. It is that crazy a league. You said it earlier, Jimbo. You haven't got to be good in this league. You've got to be consistent in this league.
Yeah.
And 4 wins from 4 is consistent. So long may it continue. If you're listening to this on your way into work on Monday morning, you've got that smile on your face, haven't you? You've got that extra pep in your step. I know you have, because I've got it myself, and we haven't had it for an awful long time. So enjoy that. And do you know what? Keep that smile on your face for the whole week, right up until Saturday. And then hopefully it gets even wider after Saturday, and we just keep on going and going and going, because if you were lucky enough to be in that away end yesterday, you'd have had a brilliant time. One of the best away days, like I said, since the Premier League. And let's hope there's plenty more of them. And let's hope we now, if we were taking 1,200 to Barnsley, let's hope we take 2,000 to Barnsley. And let's hope we start selling these away ends out and really giving the boys their support. Let's hope we can get the noise from yesterday into the Kenilworth Road stands for home games. Get right behind them, because they're showing they want it. They're showing they're up for it. They're showing it means something. Our job now is to replicate it. We did it brilliantly yesterday, and we all know that once we're all on this ride together, we know where it ends, because we've experienced 4 of them in the last decade. So long may it continue. Before we go, we've got a few things to do. First of all, well done to Kevin Redmond, who was the only person who went 3-0 to Luton over Stockport. That's a right old shout. That is, let me tell you, that is a right old shout.
Pull that out of a hat.
You deserve a shout out for that. That is a brilliant shout. I'll give a mini shout out to Louis Pepper, who went 4-1 Luton. You got the margin of victory right. You were just a little bit giddy with the scoreline, but no, credit where it's due. Well done to Kevin. Someone actually came up to me yesterday, Jimbo, and said, why don't we put the leaderboard for the prediction competition up in the preview episode so that people can see where the leaderboard is when they're previewing, rather than having to go back to the review episode? That kind of made sense to me. So should we do that?
We'll do that, because whoever suggested it, that's going to save me at least 20 minutes of editing. So thank you very much.
And also, if I'm not back from an away game, certainly a midweek away game, and there's a few of them coming up, and I've got work the following day, it means I don't have to rush through and get it done that day. So we will do that. So the leaderboard will appear on the preview for the Rotherham game, which we now know is going ahead. If you've not seen that, it is officially going ahead on Saturday at 3:00. Just before we go, we've had some contact from local charity Noah. Many of you might have known about these. They're a prominent charity within the town. The winter nights are creeping up on us, aren't they? Well, they're not creeping up on us, actually. They're in full swing now, aren't they, now that the clocks have gone back? And obviously homelessness is a big thing, Jimbo, and it's certainly a big thing in our town. There's been many sleep outlets taken place at Kenilworth Road through the years where and things like that, to sort of raise awareness of it and things like that. And Noah needs some volunteers, don't they? They're a charity that are looking for volunteers, and we've been asked to give a shout out. So if anyone out there would like to volunteer and just help out, we would really appreciate it. As I say, they're a good local charity. Some of the volunteering opportunities for a specific project that they've got going on through the winter are the soup kitchen, which is usually between 7 and 10 p.m. Night shelter support between 10 p.m. and 7 p.m. 7 a.m. But broken down into shorter periods rather than the whole 9 hours. And breakfast support 7 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. Don't get Jimbo on that, because he'll have eaten all the breakfast. But but
Being late and all.
I'm absolutely spot on with that.
Not for breakfast, but
But if you can give the guys at Noah any help, any support, any voluntary support, we'd really, really appreciate it. And the email address to get in contact, if you can provide some support, is volunteers VOLUNTEERS at noahenterprise.org. We'll put that in the show notes, though, won't we, Jimbo? And really worthy cause. We're more than happy to give them a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put all those details if you missed them in the show notes. And if you can help, please do.
Indeed so, yeah. Thanks to everyone who's watched or listened to the podcast. We really appreciate it. Loads of you came up and told me how much you enjoyed the podcast yesterday, and it's fantastic to hear. It's you guys that we do this podcast for, so we love hearing it, don't we?
We do. And do you know what we did achieve in the week?
We've hit it, haven't we? We have hit it. We have hit it like a Cohen Bramall free kick, haven't we? We have hit 3,000 subscribers, and we're absolutely delighted. So between now and Christmas, we'll sort out a proper giveaway, and we'll do that. We've got a few midweek games coming up. We'll do it when we get a quiet week, maybe over that cup game where we don't do as many previews around that sort of time. We'll get a giveaway out. Done to you to thank you guys for supporting the podcast. 3,000 subscribers is amazing.
I'm pleased as much as that. We set ourselves a target of getting that by the end of the season. To get that now before even Christmas, then I'm absolutely delighted. Thank you very much for what's in. It means the world to us. Tell your mates, tell your enemies, tell everyone to come and watch it and subscribe. It always helps.
Thanks also to the folks at Marsh House. We really appreciate your support, guys. You are the home of the Luton Town Supporters Trust podcast, and yeah, we're absolutely loving being in here. So thanks very much to Phil, Donna Mason, and the gang here for putting up with us, and also to Sean Grant and the Wolfgang for our intro music. Until next time, which will be a preview of what a game it promises to be at home to Rotherham on Saturday. From Jimbo, from Dan, and from myself. That promotion, do you know what? It is right back on the table. Come on, you Atters. We can do this.